Hello dear Ronins, welcome to Ronin Hood. Today it will be the first episode about Ghost of Tsushima in real life, climbing with a sword. So that was my first climbing on the tree of my shuriken camp, and it was with Ikazuchi real sword. Climbing without a sword with streetwear clothes. So this second phase is about just trying to climb. I didn't climb since a really long time, decades, and my body react differently, and especially for jump, my knees, legs, skeleton. So I'm observing the reaction of my body before making the martial arts choreographing action. So I'm preparing the environment, the ground, trying the different trees, branches to see if everything is okay. So my first climb with a yaito, I can see that the yaito is getting out from the saya and it's not good. So the koiguchi has to be really tightened and nicely repaired, fixed, because you can lose easily your swords, even when you have the sword on back position. So I tried side position, low back position, and back position, and on the free is the same result with this yaito. The back position is the best in my opinion if I have to climb with a sword in feudal time as shinobi, and like Ghost of Tsushima, because he's kind of a shinobi when he's trying to save Tsushima. So I'm trying to climb higher, but I feel my body is saying not too much. So I will have to train and improve my climbing on trees. So it's working. I am not having any problem with obstacles and tree environment with the back position sword. So the only thing I need to have a tighten koiguchi, so I put some leaf branches to make it fast for that day. It's possible to climb this way on 3-4 meters with the sword on back free position. So I will call that the back free position because there is another type, two other type of back position. We'll see that on next episode. But this row back position that I call free back position is working, no having problem with obstacles, and I can draw back the sword easily even with that katana size length of the blade. So we can see here that with an unsharp blade it's doable to climb and not having issues with obstacles, even with this wall climb or the little wall climb before that is less stable because I have to fix my balance. I just have one hand here to draw out the sword from back position. It's not easy because it's a long blade and ninjato is a shorter blade, around 50 centimeters. Here it's a 70 centimeters. So this is level 1. Level 1 for climbing is easy. Level 2. So I have to turn around, keeping my balance with my two legs, and drawing out the swords and then jumping. Level 3 with this little wall of wood, but just enough stable but not too much. So I have to have a really good balance. And level 4 on this tree with different technique of climbing. Of course, I'm a beginner, but it's working. Now climbing without a sword with karate gi and trying to be free of my movement because not wearing like street clothes. The shoes are better for absorbing the shocks because the shocks are really important, even from 1 meter or 2 meter or 1 meter 50 from height. because when you repeat it like 50 times, and even one time is enough if you're not having the correct posture when you absorb the shock on the floor. I'm swinging with my body on branches, trying all the possibilities from the set of my environment that I made on the shuriken camp, fixing all the details of my body posture and movement, trying all little variation. It's kind of a warm-up, but it's really interesting. It's changing so much my habits. My body react really differently, especially like legs working. Like it's super hard, like super hard squat that I'm usually practicing. And it's really intense for the arm when you are like swinging on branches for getting down. The climb, this little climb to a 2 meter 50 branch tree are like really intense for your back muscles. And of course, absorbing with rolling on a soil floor, it's really different from tatami or dojo habits. Having the rolling for absorbing the shocks can be a really important detail, as Ghost of Tsushima do when he has to avoid sword attack, or he has to absorb the shock from a height jump. In reality, in ninjutsu or parkour, it's really important. So as a beginner, I practice that in my preset and warm-up, because it's important for my body to absorb shocks for my knees and legs. It's really interesting for my new training to see how my body reacts. I didn't do that since a really long time, and I don't have the same age. So every like kind of parkour gymnastic, we don't do that most of the time in karate, kata or fight. So we take the habits to stay on the ground, but not to move and adapt to an environment. So climbing without a sword, but with the target now, I have to calibrate the distance with the jump. And climbing, yes, finding all the distances for the sword jump with my climbing on level 1, level 2, this is level 2, level 3 and level 4. The wood wall is a level 4, but I prefer level 4 on the tree. That's why I won't practice on the wood wall for level 4, because it's more uncomfortable and the reception on my knees is kind of a bit dangerous, and I'm not sure of it. And when my body tells me nope, I just listen to my body limits. So now climbing with a yaito. So the yaito is longer, so it will be easier with the ninjato. Of course, it's a back position, but it's a back position not row. It's a back position for switching. We will see that in the 4th episode of this different episode about Ghost of Tsushima, on the central topic, the jump. Is it doable in real life, and from which height? So level 2 is about turning around the tree, so it's an obstacle that changes the balance and how you have to deal with your sword. The level 4 is more about to be uncomfortable because of the tree's branches that make you in difficulties if you want to swing around the branches. Here I have to be careful to not hit my face with the tsuka when I'm swinging around the branches. So maybe it looks not so difficult to do, but I can guarantee you that even from level 1, like 40 centimeters of height, level 2, 1 meter 20 centimeters of height, Level 3, 1 meter 70 centimeters of height, and level 4, it's 2 meter 20 of height. It's kind of really difficult to deal with all the details. So now it's climbing and jumping with a real sword. From back position with a shinobi back position. That means that it's blocked on the obi, on the karate obi, and it's making a better vertical position on your back position as shinobi do. But it's tight on the sageo with a double note. We'll see later that we can make something that is better for switching on the 4th episode. So this position is really enjoyable if you just have to climb to make the jump and you absorb the shock. But you can't roll with that position. That means if there is an attack, as in Ghost of Tsushima, you won't be able to roll with the shinobi back position. But if you practice with the regular side position, you can see how it's disturbing with all the obstacles, and there is a risk to destroy the saya. So I have to always have my hand and I can hit the branches like you have just seen just before. So there is a problem with that because I have always to be careful about the saya. And if I jump without having my hand on the tsuka, the sword can draw out and is really dangerous. So we can see that's impossible or really dangerous to climb with a sword on your side because there is a risk on the jump and on the climbing to hurt yourself or to destroy the saya. So it's dangerous for the saya and dangerous for the swordsman. So the back position, again, it's a raw back position, not block in the obi, in the belt. The raw position can have obstacles too, because horizontally it can block like here. If you climb, here it's the problem with level 3 is to keep the balance because it's just enough for keeping my mass if I'm well centered and well aligned in my balance. But you can see how the blade is sharp because the rubber band just go out when I mess the shot. It's less well practical for drawing out the sword from back position with the raw back position and with obstacles, but it's better if you want to draw back the sword. So for the moment, this is the best option that I have. And level 4, really difficult. The level 4 is really difficult. It's intense when you have to climb. It's intense and really difficult for swinging or if I want to make the sword jump. The episode of the sword jump will be after this episode, the next episode. The climbing is 90% of the thing, and from my experience it's impossible to jump from more than 2 meters. You see again the rubber band were cut by the edge. And the 10% is the jump, but the jump is really difficult because you just have like 5 to 8 centimeters and you go through by the up of the omote. And for that, it's really difficult because you just have to center into a cycle of 8 centimeters or 5 centimeters, depending on your omote diameter. So the level 4 was really difficult. I'm happy to be able to do the climb and the jump from that 4 level and it was really, really intense for my body. I didn't injure myself, so I'm glad for that. It was really intense, but adapted training for my level, and it was interesting experience to see what could be the purpose of a ninjato. See you soon for the next episode for the sword jump in Ronin Hood.